Hello everyone, this is Husky here, back some more StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm action, and before I even introduce our players, I know a lot of you are so sad that I have not uploaded a video in over 5 days, which, trust me guys, that is way too long for a single person not to play StarCraft or cast StarCraft. Trust me, I feel your pain, and an equal, if not more amount. But anyways, up at the top left side, it is our top right side. My goodness, I'm a little bit rusty already. It is going to be Root's MiniGun. And down the bottom left side, it is going to be one of only 2 Protos GSL champions. That's right, it is LGimseed. We'll just be calling him Seed throughout this entire game. It also says SKMC, so they got all sorts of clan tags going on over there for Seed. And like I was saying, he is only one of 2 Protos GSL Code S champions, MC of course being the only other Protos. And it's kind of interesting that so few Protoss have actually ended up winning the GSL, but MC being the only one who has dominated the GSL, as he has won multiple titles there. So it is going to be a PvP, which has turned out to be kind of an interesting matchup. You can see a lot of different build orders, although at the highest level of play, a lot of the casters and a lot of the players are saying that there's a lot of DT rushes going on, and it's really kind of, it really just comes down to who gets the better DT timing and the better DT positioning. So we'll see if that is indeed going to be an issue, because remember, you can just use your Mothership Core to harass, scout, see everything that's going on. And it's definitely kind of a volatile matchup now, a lot more volatile than it used to be. It used to be kind of a high pressure in the early game, and then if it got past that, it would just be a big macro fest with a lot of Colossi. But there's a lot of different builds that players can do now, and this is one of the least played matchups, I would say, that have been released as far as replays are concerned in Heart of the Swarm. So we get to sit back and learn it together. Now, while this game is getting underway, you can see almost identical builds coming out for these players. I want to let everyone know the reason for not casting recently is because I was actually in the process of moving, and turns out that moving takes a couple of days. So that's exactly what I was doing. It took a while to get the internet power and all that stuff set up in the new place. Do not fret, Dodger is fine, Roe is fine, everyone at the old house is fine. I am moving in a place with our friend Frodo, if you guys remember him from the live streams, the crazy guy with the world's worst YouTube channel, and Rosanna. Basically, we needed more room for everyone. So, of course, Dodger's still one of my besties. She's living with some really good friends of ours that are replacing us. So that is going to be a-okay. She's just fine. Everyone chill out. But I will be in a new place. The internet upload speed is not as good. However, I have done some preliminary tests, and uploading is not an issue. Hopefully, live streams are not going to be an issue either, because I want to make sure that I can upload a lot, and also live streams. So we'll see. We'll be doing a test live stream. I'll be making a vlog with updates and kind of show you around the new place and all of that. And I actually have my computer set up in the living room because there's just more space here. I got my my nice, awesome, huge TV hooked to it. The reason I decided to go ahead and set my stuff up in the living room is because I can do live streams more. I can have people over. We have the couch set up in the living room for Mega Couch, and it's going to be, I'm actually really excited about it because Dodger films a lot. She films her show every single day. I cast every single day, and Ro films every single weekend. So it was just way too much filming going on for one space. We didn't have enough room to make it happen, and so we decided to go ahead and split up the houses. Our good friends over at the Warp Zone did the same thing as well. They make a bunch of videos together. They're awesome friends, but you just need more space. When you have someone as loud as me yelling as much as I do, you definitely need more space. Now, we do have some early pressure coming out. Here's the Mothership Core already for Seed. As I was mentioning before, a little bit more volatile in this matchup. You will see a lot more pressure being thrown out almost immediately. Notice how the Mothership Core is going straight for the probe kills here, as you will be able to kill this Mothership Core quite easily with just a couple of Stalkers, although it might actually be able to escape here, unless MiniGun can get lucky. Not sure if he was able to micro there perfectly, though. The Mothership Core is going to go ahead and safely escape right there. So overall units lost, not really a big deal for either player, even though there was a lot of pressure being put out by Seed. That was basically all off of one gateway, I believe. It is now going to be transitioning into a Stargate. Mothership Core going to attempt to escape out here. The Stalker is on the hunt, though. He knows the Mothership Core could be anywhere. Not going to be able to find it, though, as the Mothership Core has already moved to the left side, kind of miscalculating where that Mothership Core was going to be. Now, it looks like MiniGun going to go ahead and start putting on some pressure right now, as he does decide to move out with his own Mothership Core, and might actually be able to make this work here. What is Seed doing? He's getting 4 gateways, a Robo, and a Stargate, all off of one base, showing you just how crazy this matchup has actually become. Usually you would never see more than 4 gateways alone, let alone everything we're seeing out of both these players. So again, high micro situations for both these players. Now, sentries can easily force field the ramp, although Blink on the way. that gimmick is only going to last for so long. A pylon from MiniGun is going to be coming out, but guess what? The Oracle is moving out as well, and he has his orders, which is going to be wait outside the expansion for now, and then just attack the main mineral line as soon as MiniGun gets a little bit too aggressive. Now, you have to remember that Oracle's not the greatest versus Terran because they can get missile turrets, marines, things like that to help at least absorb some of that damage, but as Protos, you got to remember that your whole army is going to be grouped together, and what that means is you have nothing back at your main base to defend. Now, MiniGun is actually leaving one Stalker here to defend, which is not common for Protoss players to actually do this, but having the Stalker here will help mess with the AI of the Oracle because now he has to manually focus down these workers, and if he doesn't retreat with it pretty soon, he's going to end up losing the Oracle, and down it goes, trying to use that there. I gotta say, a huge intelligent read here by MiniGun. He may just send down these Stalkers as soon as they're done cleaning that out, and he is. I gotta say, it's so easy to forget in this matchup that Oracles can be thrown at you. So here we go. The force field right there is not enough. Is Blink going to allow those units to escape? But, you know, MiniGun's able to force a force field, so the forced force field there, that is something that I should not try and say anymore in the near future. But either way, MiniGun will be able to put on some pressure here that he does have Blink, but we have the classic Immortal and Zealot versus the Blink Stalkers, where this army for Seed is a much more brute force based army and can easily engage that army directly, but it has to worry about the mobility of those Blink Stalkers, because if you allow that army to get into position, it's going to really, really suck for you. Now, the Time Warp right there, got to be slowing down these units, which are now going to try and back up here to retreat, and unfortunately, the Immortals are too slow. Blink is off of cooldown, and the Stalkers will go ahead and get out of there. Now, this is a very classic style of PvP, where one player goes for a powerful army, the other player goes for a mobile army, and look at this, you can just blink right inside the main base, go up there, and start harassing the main. There is going to be the Photon Overcharge, though, which is actually going to be able to do some damage here to these Stalkers. Now, this is where you have to split up this army. Now, the trap has been set, but the perfect blink angle there going to save them. Now, at this point in the game, what Seed really needs to do is either defend perfectly by splitting up his army or deal with the Observer. He does have his own expansion going down, but guess what? So is MiniGun. MiniGun's already over halfway completed with his expansion. What's his follow-up going to be? We see, well, Pylons on the way. The Robo, though, is going to be making its own Immortals. So you can see MiniGun right now not going to be relying on mobility as much, because at some point, mobility is only going to get you so far. Yes, there are games where you can win with pure mobility, blinking in and out, in and out, in and out, and eventually doing enough damage that you just win. But in this situation, Seed did not take enough damage for that to be the case. So that means that MiniGun's going to have to start making some powerful units, because eventually, you know, again, mobility only gets you so far, and you have to engage their army directly at some point. So if you can't do enough economic damage with your harassment, then you yourself have to try and catch up in the macro and catch up in the tech, which is exactly what we see MiniGun doing. He did just enough damage to get his expansion out earlier than his opponent. He was able to hold off the harassment from the Oracle, and now he's going to be sitting in pretty good shape. He just needs to make sure to continue that tech. Now, he does have a Stargate on the way. Keeping in mind that Void Rays are actually really good now in every matchup. Just the way the changes that they made to Void Rays recently have made them more powerful, so you start to see them a lot more in this matchup and in every matchup, as Void Ray is actually a useful unit. So one Void Ray is going to be on the way. Here we go right there. Do the force fields go out? Nope, because he knows the Blink was ready, and really no reason to go ahead and risk wasting that energy or overextending your sentries here. You have the Observer right now, going to be scouting the main base, and he sees, well, do both players have Observers right now? It does look like 2 Observers for MiniGun, and soon to be 1 right now, as the Observer for Seed, instead of being aggressive with that Observer and seeing what his opponent's doing, instead being defensive to kill off his opponent's Observer, which is always kind of nice. He does know about the 2 Pylons now as well, so he can go ahead and move out, and is instead using the Hallucinated Phoenix here to scout. And honestly, as long as there's no DPs that you're looking for, Phoenix are going to do the job better than an Observer, because they're free when they're hallucinated, of course, and they're very fast. They can fly around and see everything that's going on. You have to basically clutch it in the back. But at this point, the Void Rays start to come in, and this is where they're going to be activating the alignment. You can see that he just activated it by this little bar, and the fact that their arms are kind of outstretched. And then the Storm's going to be dropped down on this entire army. Remember, Storms don't stack, so you have to spread them out as much as you possibly can. And at this point, the DPS is just way too high. MiniGun has too much money and can easily reinforce it there. So Seed is forced to leave the game. And really, I mean, he didn't have any options at this point. He was down 40 supply. His army supply 97 to 68. And you gotta remember, there's really no counter for Protoss to beat this unless you have something comparable. You can't just make a bunch of Stalkers or something like that. The Void Rays are just going to chew through them. So anyways, now that I'm in the new space, everything is set up. And I'm still slowly unpacking, but you know, moving in takes a little bit. That means more and more games. So thank you guys so much for your patience. Thank you for the thumbs up and all the comments and all that in my absence. I definitely appreciate it. And since I moved, I have several thousand more followers, so I got to entertain them with some more videos. I'm going to go ahead and do that just right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.